You afraid, honey? Doing a really great
He's been shouting everywhere.
It's
I
premature.
think it's optimistic. I think Harry needs to be careful what he wishes for. I don't think we'll get a deal.
Certainly when his mother was still alive, she would tell me that she never really thought that William wanted the top other.
So St. Patrick's Day ended in chaos as Princess Catherine exposed King Charles's secret deal with Harry. Apparently, Charles doesn't have a lot of hope for William as king. He's concerned he's unfit to rule, so instead of putting him on the throne, he's placing his trust in Harry. According to royal insiders, he's working on bringing Harry back to the country. In fact, he has even asked William to repair things with Harry. Because if Harry is going to rule, the brothers need to be on good terms. It all started with the Princess of Wales stepping out to celebrate St. Patrick's Day with the Irish Guards. She was spotted wearing a bottle green coat with an Irish Guards cap star pinned to it as she greeted the guards and interacted with the kids.
You afraid, honey? Doing a really great
He's been shouting everywhere.
She ended the event by presenting good conduct and long service medals to 3 soldiers. All in all, it was a good day. But according to reports, Princess Catherine spoke to one of the reporters at the parade and dropped a bombshell. She exposed King Charles's secret deal with Harry. Apparently, King Charles is preparing to welcome Harry back into the country simply because he wants him to take the throne. According to a new report from In Touch, King Charles himself is worried that William might not be ready to step into the role of monarch. Charles knows the pressures of being the monarch, and he just isn't sure William is ready to take his place. It seems premature, and there could be consequences. And that's where Harry comes in. Of course, Diana was preparing Prince Harry to be king over Prince William. Now, why would fans believe him? Well, it's because he has devoted more than 40 years of his life to the royal family. He was particularly close to Princess Diana.
Well, Diana had this unfortunate sort of reputation, certainly for the last few years of her life, as a young woman in permanent crisis, either in floods of tears or angry about something. And in fact, she was none of those things away from the camera. She was very funny. She did very good impressions. I think I've said that before on Palace Confidential. She did a mean queen, and she was amusing. She was remarkably well read. I mean, not in an academic sense, but she did read the newspapers. She followed political developments. She was interested in meeting people from a widest background as possible.
In fact, he forgot to see the boys grow up as well, and what Diana thought of them.
And I think William has been a bit of a surprise. He was a shy young man. Certainly when his mother was still alive, she would tell me that she never really thought that William wanted the top job, as she called it, the idea that he would one day wear the crown.
Apparently, she never thought Williams had the chops for the big job. She thought Harry was more suited for the role.
And of course, things haven't worked out for that, and I think we're all rather grateful that they haven't, in much the same way as people often used to speculate about Princess Margaret and Princess Elizabeth when they were children. What if it had been the other way around? And I think the consensus is we got the right one.
And surprisingly, even the general public thinks so. Anyone can see William doesn't have what it takes to be a king. Even Stevie Wonder can see that. You prepare for something all your life, shouldn't you be 100% ready? Harry said in his book how he would do a lot of the engagements that William didn't even bother for. He took the Commonwealth job role too. Anyone can see Harry is the better man for the job. So who's to blame for the lack of preparedness? William and Kate were allowed to live in Wales, far from everyone else where they should have been in London preparing for tours, etc. They made Harry go on loads of tours that Will should have gone on. The Commonwealth tour in 2014. Harry learned how to make friends and sharpen his personality. He vibed with Usain Bolt and chilled with Rihanna and didn't seem out of place. Contrast that to Will and Kate, who were uncomfortable around black and brown people. Strangely, the slings and arrows against Harry humbled him and developed his character. Will was protected and coddled for all of his life, wasn't expected to busy himself, like Prince Charles did with his Prince's Trust and Harry with his Invictus Games. So, for William to think as some sort of statesman for his Earthshot doesn't seem to be working because he hasn't done hard graft at all. In addition, Will got permission to marry Kate, who didn't add anything to the family at all. Yeah, she might have brought a chin and some hair into the BRF, but nothing else. Will was just never challenged. For someone who supposed had tea with the Queen to be taught stagecraft, he didn't absorb any lessons at all. And apparently King Charles realizes it as well. According to royal insiders, he's fully aware of his son's shortcomings, which is why he's focusing on passing the torch to Harry. He has tried to make William a better man. For one, William is known to sip a few beers after work, along with several glasses of wine with dinner. According to one source, Charles has counseled him that there can be no more carefree outings to the pub anymore. He's also apparently helping him with his anger issues. But Charles's efforts don't seem to be working. To make things worse, he doesn't have a lot of time. According to one insider, he has pancreatic cancer and has a maximum of 2 years to live. And so he has reportedly struck a deal with Harry, one that erases William as king. As of right now, Prince Harry has plans to return to the country for the Invictus Games Birmingham in 2027, and he's hopeful that his dad will join him for the event. However, according to royal insiders, King Charles might not grace the event because he doesn't want anyone finding out about his secret deal with Harry. While sitting down for an interview on the A Right Royal podcast, royal expert Matt Wilkinson said, "I think Invictus is a big event for Harry. I think there was only one decision. It was going to Birmingham, and Harry wanted to bring his whole family down here. He wants to sit there with the royal family in the stands, but that's very optimistic." Now here's where things get interesting. Apparently, King Charles actually asked William to put his feelings aside and heal his long-standing rift with his brother. He wants William to work out his differences with Harry because that would make things easier for Harry when he takes the throne. However, William is not happy with that arrangement. For William, the idea of Charles welcoming the Sussexes back into the royal fold would be lunacy. But for some members of the royal household, a peace pact could be exactly the kind of good news the monarchy needs to boost their reputation right now. William is furious that he's being pressured this way. He says he can't believe his father is being so gullible. He also bristles at the suggestion that Harry gets another chance, but he isn't in charge, and Charles and a number of other people within the firm believe having Harry involved again in some capacity could actually strengthen the institution. The source also said, "He says it's outrageous that they haven't been cut loose. To him, it just makes them all look weak. The more Charles needles at him about this, the more he digs in his heels. It's very hard for anyone to imagine him backing down." Meanwhile, another insider said, "Charles understands William still feels deeply betrayed, but he says now is the time to put politics above feelings. It's what a good ruler needs to be able to do. The feeling is that they need to show unity right now, and Charles is pressuring William to step in line and prove he can be a leader." At the end of the day, the royal hierarchy is in chaos. King Charles might feel like he's making the best decision, but he needs to deal with the brothers' feud. If Harry and William don't get along, Harry would have a hard time as king. The only question right now is, will King Charles be able to pull off his deal with Harry? Or is William going to step up and prove him wrong?